Jumping into a new Deerhoof album is like opening a pack of Pokemon cards, except like 100 times better. Hey, this is Matt O'Leary, and it's time to dive into Miracle Level by Deerhoof, the famously DIY indie rock / experimental pop band that started in San Francisco in 1994. Made up of Satomi Matsuzaki on bass and lead vocals, and then John Diederich and Ed Rodriguez on guitar duty, and then kind of the spiritual leader of the band, or at least the one who mans the Twitters, Greg Saunier, the drummer. I've actually missed the last couple Deerhoof records, or at least heard them once or twice and didn't quite get absorbed. But I feel like it's a ride you can always just hop back on when you're up for something wacky and fun. And wacky and fun is just about the extent of what I'm looking for with this band. I know they do a lot thematically and politically with their music. But what I love about the band is the melodicism that glues together this vast array of styles and sounds and almost hyperactive musical pacing. Even very short songs will jump around everywhere, like when you let go of the end of a filled balloon and it just... It's clear that they have a rapacious musical appetite and curiosity for different eras, different genres, different cultures, different sounds. And that expansive musical input is evident in their equally expansive musical output. And nothing has changed here on Miracle Level. I think this sounds just as nutty as early classics like Apollo or Milkman. And they cover more in 35 minutes than most bands could do in 90. There are some softies, there are some loudies like My Lovely Cat, where I can't help but hear the riff from Led Zeppelin's Houses of the Holy about 20 seconds in. How interesting to have two distinct guitar-driven intros to a song. I love the harmonies in the chorus, but I especially love that bridge section around 2:25 that starts. It's kind of this 70s prog sound, and then it slows down into this swirling psychedelic outro. And in true Deerhoof fashion, they modulate the melody on the last line of the song, like so clever. The band gets more aggressive only on a couple tracks here, like Parts of Everybody Marvel, and then the penultimate track, Momentary Art of Soul. And this song's probably my least favorite on the record. Notice I didn't say worst, just least favorite. Momentary Art of Soul has kind of a Robert Fripp Discipline era mathy, repetitive rhythms going on in there, but kind of the abrasiveness of a record like Red. I just don't ultimately love what ends up feeling like endless repetition on that track. And in general, I like how the album's Friend Opportunity and Breakup Song played with a much wider instrumental palette. I feel like this one is following a theme of a much more traditional guitar-centric sound. Although their guitar duo is able to do so many things with their guitars that it ends up feeling like different instruments at times anyway. Take the Poignant Melody, for example. That's definitely one of my favorite tracks. It starts with a jazzy little progression, and you got these two guitars and performances panned hard left and right, which is something they've done a lot in the past. And then you get these eerie little bell tones or harmonics played on guitar. There are like 3 or 4 different guitar duo riffs before the singing even comes in. I love the jazziness and the subtlety of the drums. Greg's a usually very intense, very busy drummer, but on this one, he knows when to hang back and just let the other voices in the band speak. And of course, he adds his very childish kind of voice, to punctuate this song and others like And the Moon Laughs with nice little harmonies here and there. I especially love the softer moments on this record, like Little Maker with its dub meets lounge jazz kind of feel. And the closer, Wedding March Flower, which is a tender piano ballad. It's very, very delicate, and an interesting dynamic here between Greg, who brought in the music, the melody, and Satomi, who wrote the lyric, because, these two used to be married, I think, like a decade or 15 years ago or something like that. So it's just great how they're able to collaborate on a romantic song like this. And as always with Deerhoof, every instrument sounds carefully arranged. It sounds like it's playing a complementary role with the others. Probably best showcased on the opening track, which has a very classical type of feel to it. You know, the guitars are playing the role of a classical string arrangement. And I say it sounds carefully arranged, but Deerhoof most of the time sounds like a happy accident. Of course, when you practice a lot, when you read a lot, you listen a lot, and you play together as a group a lot, you're bound to make some happy accidents. It really does sound like they're playing together in the same room. You know, there's interaction in the music, there's relationship in the music, and it kind of gives you that comforting feeling like you're watching this happy, healthy family. And all the usual musical antics and curiosities are here. There are very few major highs for me, but also no major lows. You know, it's very consistently good. Another good Deerhoof album, probably a 7 or a 7.5 out of 10. I haven't even mentioned that the whole album's in Japanese. It's their first album in their discography in Japanese, which is interesting. But it just has no bearing on the music whatsoever for me. You know, I think I've never really listened to Deerhoof for the lyrics anyway, so the vocal performance, the personality in her voice hits just as hard as ever. That's it. That's Deerhoof's Miracle Level. I hope you enjoyed the album. Let me know what you thought of it down below. Of course, like this video, and if you want to get more indie and prog music in your life, go ahead and subscribe. And as always, thank you so much for watching.